Hello my children and welcome to a very special video because this video right here is my 1000th video on this channel. I know if you check Social Blade it says like 800 and something. Ignore Social Blade, they only count the ones that are public and I have a lot of unlisted ones for various reasons. Some of them are secret ones that you can only access through special means, and some of them, that sounded really dodgy. They're secret animal related ones that you can only access through special means, like follow me on Twitter and other places and through certain videos. Those kind of secret videos. But there are other videos on my channel that were up for years and they were good and useful and people enjoyed them, but over time the information became outdated and so I unlisted them so as to prevent myself being part of the misinformation problem. So for this slightly special video I thought I'd do something that a viewer suggested a few weeks ago, and that is for me to watch back my oldest videos and basically react to them. If this video ends up sucking, I'm putting all the blame on the person who suggested it. I take no responsibility. Little history lesson for those who don't know the backstory of why my channel even exists in the first place. Back in December 2010, when I got my very first hamsters, I joined the forum Hamster Central, and in order to share like just the cute videos of your hamsters being adorable on the forum, the easiest way to do it was to upload them to another website and then just link them across. When I first started doing this, I had a completely different YouTube channel. I just upload the videos there, transfer them across, but then because I am a bit of a weirdo when it comes to organization, I felt like it was better if my hamsters had their own private channel where I could share that stuff onto the forum, and that was the whole purpose of it existing. I made a channel just so I could share videos on a forum. That was it. Don't ask me how we ended up here. But that also kind of explains why my very first video on this channel is called Welcome Back Ham Fam, as if we'd been anywhere. I guess it made sense to me at the time. Stopping myself right here. So first of all, I'm gonna have to swap that music out for something else because I'm pretty sure that's copyrighted. It starts off with all your nice imagery. You got a picture of 17-year-old me lying on the floor for some reason. And you've got the 4 hamsters I had at the time: Truffle, Cookie, Pippi, and Thistle. But then it cuts to this. And this is awful. If I remember correctly, and I might not because this was back in 2011, Pippi was in a hospital cage for some reason or another. Pippi had loads of health problems throughout her life. So she was in a hospital cage. I'm assuming this is just after her and Thistle were separated because they originally lived together. And I had Pippi in the hospital cage on my bed, and I had Thistle running around on the bed. And I remember thinking, oh, this is so cute. Look at them interacting with each other because they used to be friends. Blah, blah. Don't do that. Oh my goodness. When you have separated a pair of dwarf hamsters, unless you are attempting to rebond them again, you don't do this. This is just pointless. This is stressful for the animals and this is bloody stupid. Some people might be inclined to give me a bit of leeway on that because they were 2 of my very first hamsters. I'm not inclined to give any leeway because that's just stupid, and I was on a forum at the time and I shouldn't have been this dumb. I should have researched this. I should have checked this first. This stupid thing. We've got Cookie and Truffle. Oh, I miss having robos. Okay, she was obese. What? Oh, that little face. If you are willing to go all the way back to my 2011 videos, you will find some really cute hamster footage. Okay, this is great. This is my Robo night cam. This was not a night camera. This was literally a red bicycle light that I just put on top of the cage and then filmed them at a distance. I think I put the camera in the cage and kind of walked away from them and then just left the light on top, but it was like, I made it seem like it was some secret camera. You can see it's a light. You can see it's a light. It is a really cute video though. I'm pretty sure that's Cookie on the wheel because she had a slightly smaller face, and then that's Truffle who's just wandering around the side. I might be wrong. I mean, they're Agouti Roborovskis. It's a bit hard to tell apart, especially at this resolution. Okay, let's watch one of my old cage tours.
So this video is the tour of my Roborovski boys Cookie and Truffle's cage.
They weren't boys. I had these hamsters for months before I found out they were girls. The only reason I found out they were girls was because I actually got some female Roborovskis later on, and I was checking them to see what they were, and I was thinking, you look awfully similar to the 2 I already have. And that's how I found out. Truffle Creme, Prince of Bobtails, was in fact a princess, although she did maintain her prince status for the rest of her life.
The main features we have in this cage, you'll probably notice straight away, gravel flooring, which I have done a video on watching if you'd like to learn more about.
Gravel flooring? Why gravel? Why gravel for the whole cage? What? I was worse than I thought I was. Don't cover your whole cage in gravel. That's not a good idea. Why did I do that? I can bet you anything somebody told me that wasn't a good idea and I argued my point. The joys of being a teenager. Everybody but you is wrong. You could have gravel flooring in like a really small patch of the cage where the hamster has a choice of whether they're going to walk on it or not. That way if it's uncomfortable they don't have to walk on it. Certainly would not use it all over the cage. I'm not sure why I didn't think that would be uncomfortable. That would be incredibly uncomfortable. Also, you can't burrow in gravel. Not that I seem too focusing on burrowing back then. Look at how shallow that cage is. I think they were like 18 centimeters tall because they were under the bed storage boxes and I thought that was okay.
If I can get them out.
No! No!
It's quite difficult to lift this house. It's a bit of fiddling to do. There they are. 10 months old.
You never, ever lift the house off your animals once they're in their house, unless there is an actual legitimate reason, i.e. like taking them to a vet or travelling, some reason you have to take them out of there. You don't take the point of the house is for them to have somewhere safe to go and hide away from you and other things, not for you to come crashing in and rip the roof off. Oh my god. I'm angry at myself. I don't even want to watch this video. There's so much wrong. I mean, the cage itself, I'm pretty certain this cage is still above minimum size, which is, to me, a little bit sad. But the way it's set up, first of all, way too shallow, gravel flooring, just not enough of anything going on. There's only a few toys in there. Ripping the roof off of your hamsters as they are trying to hide from you. Let's just leave this and go and watch something less depressing. Let's go and watch Thistle's cage tour because she lived in the hamster heaven. And that is a good cage. Even today, that's still a good cage.
This is my hamster heaven, everybody. Love this cage, fell in love with this cage. Greatest cage ever. Expensive, but really good. So this is Thistle's cage tour. And, well, her temporary cage tour. She's moving house again in the next month.
I don't remember this, but I'm guessing by the word again, I was frequently moving her into different cages. Again, not a great thing to do. Not a fantastic thing to do. Like, moving them once or twice in their life, fine, as long as you space them apart. But having to resettle them into a new cage is stressful for them. You shouldn't be moving them frequently.
Has a little digging/nesting box here. The Sputnik.
That's pathetic.
I live more than her. And this two-story house I built for. It's got an upstairs and a downstairs and 2 balconies. And she has chewed a hole in the bottom. So now.
Ripping the roofs off again. Can't help myself apparently. Gotta get those views. I wasn't even getting views back then. Like there's no reason for me to, I mean, getting views is obviously not a reason. Oh my god, it is so incredibly unfair and selfish to the animal to rip their roof off just to put them on camera. I have seen people do that. I've seen channels that are well known do that to their animals and it's like, oh, you're promoting that idea. Stop doing it. It's not okay to rip the roofs off your animals while they're sleeping. Leave them sleep.
And she's there.
I'm drinking this so fast now, I'm so stressed.
Disturbed her, but she's used to it.
Did I just say that? No, I did not.
A little annoyed that I've disturbed her, but she's used to it.
She's a little annoyed that I've disturbed her, but it's okay. She's used to it. It's fine to treat your animals badly, as long as you do it a lot so they get used to it. Another cage tour, but this one I think is looking slightly better. So here you can see what my cages look like. Now at this point I had a few more hamsters, so I had Thistle in the hamster heaven, Kiku and Jenny were in the bin cage above it. Now that's a much better looking bin cage, but clearly I've put one of the ventilation windows far too low and there's no way I can put enough substrate in there, which I haven't done anyway, so there's no burrowing. Big issue there. Then on the left you've got a weird stack of bin cages that are far too shallow. The very bottom one is Cookie and Truffle. They had a weird little lift up lid that I could get into them. But those 2 little plastic boxes you can see on top of them, one of them is a dig box, if I remember correctly, that attaches to the top cage, which is Pippi's cage, and she had a tunnel that went into that dig box. So she at least had some digging space. I'm not sure why I felt she was the only one who needed it. And then that horrible little red thing down the bottom was my hospital cage.
Today I'm going to do a tour of Kiku and Jenny's cage, my little Roborovski pups, because I haven't done their tour yet.
Great camera work.
Here we are. It lives on top of Thistle's hamster heaven.
2011 and 2012 were a time where I got far too many hamsters far too close together. Don't ever let me do that again. That is not a message I want to send. This is back before, like I say, back before I had an audience, back before I had any concept of influence over other people. But that is not something I want to promote as being normal.
The main thing people are going to be thinking the second they look at this cage is that I've got 2 robos and I have a shelf. And we all know that when you have paired hamsters, the last thing you want to do is have more than one level.
So here 17-year-old me is about to explain why I think it's okay to have shelves in the cage as long as they don't seem to be fighting over it. And granted, I did do this several more times, and I've never had issues with my pairs being territorial over shelves. At least I don't remember any issues relating to that. But having a shelf in a cage with pairs raises the risk of territorial fighting. And why would you do that? What is the point in raising that risk? Something like that can be the difference between a pair getting along and a pair fighting and injuring each other. And it's not worth it. I wouldn't recommend doing it now. If I had a pair again, I certainly wouldn't put shelves and levels in just because, like I say, not worth it. Even though I've not had a negative experience with that myself, I know for a fact that it does raise those risks. All in all, this cage wasn't horrific. The only big issues are that A, not enough substrate, and B, not really enough going on in it. And of course you've got the shelf there, which, like I say, although I've not had issues with in the past, wouldn't do it again. There's so many videos of the hamsters just being absolutely adorable. Oh, okay, so let's watch a Roborovski taming session.
Okay, this is Kiku's first taming session now. She has been here for, I think, 2 days. I've given her to settle in. And they both settled nicely, so...
She's clearly very stressed out in that box, though.
Time to... Does that take... Okay, that wasn't... that didn't take as long as I thought it would. Hi. She's quite tame already.
Backstory for Kiku and Jenny, they were a rescue pair. Well, it was a rescue trio originally. One of them was a male and that went to my cousin, who also had a kind of hamstery going on. There was a girl that lived near Dan that we both also knew from school, and she had taken in 3 Roborovskis from somebody else, and she'd been assured that they were all the same sex. They were all siblings. They weren't the same sex. She ended up with a bunch of inbred litters. So not her fault, and she did try and find them home straight away, and she was desperate to get the first litter of one of the females to a new home because the female had unfortunately just had a second litter. It's a frustrating thing that happens with hamsters where as soon as they've given birth, they can get pregnant again. So in a lot of cases where you've got a missexed group, by the time the owner discovers there's even a litter in the cage, the female is often already pregnant again, and that's awful because they only gestate for about 3 weeks and pups are supposed to stay with their mother until 4 weeks. So what ends up happening is she has her second litter, they end up getting pushed out by the older and much stronger litter, the younger litter can often end up malnourished or even dying, and it's just a terrible situation. And the mother also has no time to recover between giving birth to the first litter and nursing them, and then being pregnant again and giving birth and nursing again. And it's a horrible situation. So that is why we ended up with Kiku and Jenny at just 3 weeks old. It was a very complicated thing, but you definitely shouldn't be taking healthy situation hamsters away from their mother before 4 weeks old.
Lovely.
Maybe don't put the camera in her face. She's a little bit stressed out in there.
You're very fast.
Yeah, you're chasing her around, that's
Kiku,
why.
slow down. Slow down. Oh. Slow down, hamster, slow down. Oh. Kiku.
It's not a terrible video. I mean, this is the way I would still tame Roborovskis today, put them out in a separate box area. My cat's knocking stuff off the counter. I would still put them in a separate box to tame them because Roborovskis are just a little more complicated, but I definitely think I did this too soon. I think I said in the video I'd only had her 2 days at that point. And also, I shouldn't be going straight onto the handling like this. This day, like, after day 2, that's when you sort of go on to the chatting with them and then just getting used to you. This is something that I would have done, at least now, I would do this later on down the line. Kiku and Jenny did end up being very, very tame. Most of my robos were very tame. I was quite good at taming robos. I have no idea how long this video is going to be once I've finished editing it, so I hope it's at least a decent length, but I might do maybe like a series on this, perhaps, going back to my old videos and just criticizing myself, because I didn't realize how bad some of those videos were. If that's something you guys would be interested in doing, maybe I'll do that next year. In the meantime, though, thank you so much for watching my 1000th video. This was awful and tragic, and I'm very angry with myself. I do hope you enjoyed it, and I will see all of you guys very soon. Bye bye.